Peace and love. This is yours truly, General Pow Shadowz of the House of Hip Step. What it do, famo. So, I just want to give y'all an update. First and foremost, welcome to the channel NGR Exposed, where I talk about everything involving the N word that you could possibly think about. We're gonna cover all types of aspects dealing with the N word, with the word nigga. We're not gonna hold any punches. We're not gonna hold back. We're just gonna speak straight facts. And this is only like the beginning. I have a lot of different things that I want to talk about. I want to cover, but this week, this particular video, what I like to talk about is Juneteenth. And last week was Juneteenth, and there was a lot of Juneteenth ceremonies all over the country, celebrations and ceremonies all over the country. And Juneteenth is something I've been celebrating ever since I was a teenager, a real youngster with my mom. And so I've always had an awareness about Juneteenth. And dealing with my book NGR, What Does It Mean? An expose on the N word from a hip hop perspective. A lot of the things that made me write that book are, having these different experiences that I had over the years, at these different celebrations, at these different gatherings and stuff like that. And, just meeting a lot of conscious people, ever since I can remember. And, that Juneteenth to me is something that I think is an object of controversy, much like the N word, because, you got some people that on one side are saying, yeah, let's use it. It belongs to us. Let's embrace it. And then you got some people saying, nah, that's something that was given to us. We need to discard it and be done with it. It's the same thing with the word nigga. You got some people that say, let's embrace it. This is our word. This is a term of endearment. You got some people saying the word nigga comes from NGR. And NGR is a African Kemetic word, or Egyptian hieroglyphic word, right? It could be found in the hieroglyphics, like I cover in my book. That means king or emperor. And they'll say that, because of that, because the word nigga started in Africa with black people, and they'll talk about the Naga, who I also cover in my book. The Naga, the ancient Indian word for king. And we do know that the ancient Indians are derived from the ancient Kushites. And that the Kushites are the ancestors of the ancient Indians of India, the country India, not American Indians. Got to make that distinction. And that they'll say that the word nigga comes from Nagas, and it comes from NGR, which could be pronounced Inger or Netger. And they'll say that, so we should use the word nigga because, it comes from Africans historically. So we should embrace it, and it meant something divine. Then you have another group of people who will say, no, this is a word that's been used by Europeans to demean us, to, to degrade us. And it was only used as a word to degrade us. It has no divine meaning. doesn't matter if they know, if it doesn't matter if they read my book or not. There are many people who just see the word nigga as a negative connotation, a negative term, a contemptuous term to call black people, and that's it. So, Juneteenth and the word nigga have these two phenomena in common. That some people say, Juneteenth is a holiday given to us by white people. And, it's just another day. I even saw some people saying that there's a narrative out there now saying that, oh, well, it's just another holiday to divide blacks and whites. Giving black people another holiday is just another attempt to divide black people from white people. And I find that as a very interesting outlook or perspective to take. I sense some covert prejudiceness in that terminology. It's like, for somebody to kind of make that analysis. But I have seen this. But to me, that's like a covert expression of prejudice or some type of racial discrimination undertone to go there. I don't think that and then I find it even more interesting that you have a lot of so-called black and indigenous people in this country who themselves say, I don't like Juneteenth, and we don't need that holiday. It's not something that's good for black people. And defining that, what is Juneteenth about in the first place? I think that like a lot of people don't take the time to look at things, right? Just like the word nigga, a lot of people don't take the time to look up things, just like Juneteenth, right? Again, making the comparisons with the N word with the holiday known as Juneteenth, right? Which was just made a federally recognized holiday by Joe Biden, correct? So let's look at what Juneteenth is. Juneteenth is a day that celebrates I think in another video I said 1867, 2 years, but it was I misspoke. What I meant was 2 months. It was 1865, 2 months after the Declaration, 2 months after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1865, or let's say 1865. Let me get my facts straight. 1865 is when June 19th, 1865 is when in Texas the last so-called black and indigenous people found out that slavery was abolished, right? And so basically Juneteenth is a holiday that celebrates essentially the abolition of slavery. So when you think about that, right, and it's like the major finally got that word to the Texans, which had already, the Emancipation Proclamation had already been signed, but it wasn't until June 19th, 1865, that the last so-called slaves, right, quote-unquote slaves, black and indigenous people of Texas, down there, I think Galveston, Texas, if I'm not mistaken, found out that slavery was abolished and was over. So, and if you look at that as the definition, then inherently, what's wrong with that, right? Like, I mean, you would think that that's what's wrong with that, right? On a basic level, but there's people that have different arguments for why they don't think that. Some people say that, well, that's another slave holiday. Some people, people saying that's another distraction. There's a lot of there's a lot of weird opposition. I call it weird, but to me it's strange opposition. I mean, Empress Verdiasi, who I write about in my book NGR, What Does It Mean, which can be purchased on Amazon. Either it's available either in Kindle, you can download the Kindle version as a ebook, or you can also buy the paperback version, have it sent to you. Amazon to bring it right to your doorstep. But and the audio and I got a new announcement. The audio book is going to be available really, really soon, because I've been working on that, and I just about got it tweaked and got it finished and uploaded for availability. The audio book, read by yours truly. That's right, General Pow Shadowz of the House of Hip Step, with the audio book. But coming at you, NGR, what does it mean? An expose on the N word from a what? From a hip hop perspective, baby. Right? Because I am hip hop. Hip hop flows through my veins, and hip hop has always given a unique perspective when it comes to these different things. When it comes to black, quote unquote, black consciousness and awareness, hip hop has been at the forefront of that. Hip hop is the one that made you say peace. Word is bond. Hip hop is the one that, made you rock the African medallion and get knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? And tell you the black man is God, and give you all of these different ideologies that you didn't previously know about or have heard. But hip hop was the one that introduced you to all these concepts. So that's why I thought it would be unique to approach the N word from a hip hop perspective. Hip hop brought you NWA. We was the first people to tell you that we niggas, to give you niggas with attitude. That was hip hop that did that. Hip hop was the first to give you niggas with attitude. Before that, you just had niggas. But hip hop gave you attitude. And the attitude was the consciousness and the awareness of the nigga. But like Empress Verdiasi, getting back to, like I was saying in the book, I talk about her. And Empress Verdiasi, she was a great author. And she talks about Peter the Nigger in her book Return of the Ancient Ones. And she talks about basically giving us the whole history of the black Native Americans, and what that's all about. And I suggest everybody check that book out, Return of the Ancient Ones by Empress Verdiasi, Washita Ghostin. So I suggest you check that out. But she was the one that told us that Juneteenth, from a black, quote unquote, black Native American perspective, and I don't think she covers this in her book, but she was the one who made us aware about her ancestral lineage of the Washita, where her lineage comes from the King of Spain and the King of France, and their nephew, his name was Joseph Marquis Maison de Rouge, if I'm not mistaken. Joseph de Rouge. I do know Joseph Marquis Maison de Rouge, if I'm not mistaken. I might have a couple of the names, the middle names switched. But Joseph Marquis de Rouge, he's also known as the Dauphin. He was the nephew of the King of Spain and the King of France. And he married the Washita Empress, Aya Maria, and this is the history of Empress Verdiasi and the history of the Washita people. But and he had a land grant from Spain that protected and preserved the territory of the Washita, right? The Washita territory, what we at a time had come to be known as the Louisiana Purchase. And that's a whole nother story, the Louisiana Territory, right? The Louisiana Territory. And that's a whole nother story because it goes into the Louisiana Purchase, and she outlines that in her book, Return of the Ancient Ones. But what I'm talking about is that landmark, that land grant, that Spanish land grant was given to Joseph Marquis Mason de Rouge when he married the Washita Empress. Then that land was preserved and protected, because the Europeans was coming and taking the territory from the black indigenous peoples, right? The Washita, the Choctaw, and so forth. Lands were being, taken. And when this territory was taken, it was taken by the United States, and on June 19th, 1848, in a landmark United States Supreme Court decision, this territory was granted back to the heirs of Henry Turner, who the heirs of Henry Turner are the descendants of Empress Aya Maria and Joseph Marquis Mason de Rouge. And this territory was given back to the heirs of Henry Turner by the United States Supreme Court. In this case, the heirs of Henry Turner versus the United States, which the Empress does talk about in her book Return of the Ancient Ones, but also you can find these documents online. This case matter online right now. So this is the reason that June 19th is significant to the Washita, to the black Native Americans, right? And it has nothing to do with June 19th, 1865, where in Texas this was the case. But the case was dealing with slavery in Texas. And so we're talking about two different celebrations. So, or two different reasons to celebrate Juneteenth or June 19th. One is dealing with the last people being freed, and in Texas, the last slaves, so-called slaves, being freed and finding out about the emancipation and being emancipated. And then we also have, prior to that, in 1848, the black Native Americans getting their territory back and winning that landmark U.S. Supreme Court decision, heirs of Henry Turner versus the United States. So, get my book, NGR, What Does It Mean? I reference Empress Verdiasi in the book. I go into detail about where the word nigger comes from, the origins and the etymology of the word, the history, everything that I could find out, about the word, I put in the book. And I gave you the most thorough research I could, and I also quoted all my references and cited all my references. So you can go even look up some other things as well. But This is yours truly, General Pow Shadowz from the House of Hip Step. And like I said, fam, the trip to Jackson, I went down there. I want to shout out my man Smooth, Randall Gray, good friend of mine. My man Marcus, my man Deck. You know what I'm saying? Salute. My man Reggie, salute. You know, and I just want to say much love to y'all brothers for showing me mad love when I came down. The original crew, fam. Shout out to Miss Monique, Unique Monique, and the family, and all my godchildren down there. Much love to y'all. But everybody at the Juneteenth celebration in Jackson, Mississippi this year, much love and respect to all of y'all. All the performances were great. There was hip hop, R&B, funk, soul, DJs. My man DJ, I can't think of his name right now. Can't think of his name, but salute to the DJ who DJ'd. I just met the brother, good cat. All the vendors were on point. Had some really good vendors. Good stuff for the children to do, and a lot of things to buy. I had my book set up. I had a booth set up, a really nice setup with my booth, with my books and everything in my booth. And I got some love. People came through, bought the book, supported it. I suggest you buy it too right now. You can get it on Kindle or on paperback, right? On Amazon, right? And it's called NGR, What Does It Mean? An expose on the N-word from a hip-hop perspective, and it's available. Get your copy today. Amazon will bring it right to your house, all right, on any given day. So people are getting the books. Shout out to my man Doodlebug from Diggable Planets. He just dropped the book called The Epic of Heaven and Earth. The Epic of Heaven and Earth Association, if I'm not mistaken. And I just copied out and out. Don't worry, out. You'll know all about it because I just bought a copy myself. And when I have it, I'll be showing it and presenting it to y'all on this channel, NGR Exposed. But yeah, salute to my man Doodlebug. But yeah, he just copped a copy of my book. Says he can't wait to dig into it. But yeah, everybody get your copy, and start a book club, and let's talk about this. What do I want to accomplish on this channel? I want to use this platform to have good conversation, good discussions about where did the N-word come from, the whole phenomenon around using it. And we're going to figure this thing out from an intelligent perspective. Do we want to keep using this word or not? Do we want to bury this word like the NAACP did? There was a funeral for the N-word. Like, come on, man. You're going to be thoroughly educated after you watch these videos. So please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Join the squad, and rise with us and grow mentally with us. NGR Exposed. It's yours truly, General Pow Shadowz of the House of Hip Step. Encouraging y'all to keep hip stepping. All right, check out my other channel, Shadowz TV, SHADOWZ TV, where you can find music, videos, and other musical content on my other page. All right, find me. Also follow me on IG. Give me that follow. Much love. I'll see you on the next one.